All right, and to kick off our semester here, we're going to start our next unit, which is going to work on something called transformations. All right, so you can see that our first standard here is standard 11.1. I can translate figures in the coordinate plane and represent translations with correct notation. All right, so so all this is really manipulating figures in the coordinate plane. So this is kind of a little bit of a continuation from how we wrapped up the semester in our last unit, all right, with our work in the coordinate plane. So to get you started and keep you thinking, get you thinking about this, we have our opener here. All right, so we have triangle ABC, all right, and it has been, all right, moved to give us triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So what I want you to do is, all right, pause the video and tell me, how did we move, all right, point A to point A prime? How do we move point B to point B prime? How do we move C to C prime? All right, and then we'll talk about what that means. So go ahead, pause the video, do that for me, and flip it back on, and we'll see what you got. All right, so hopefully, all right, what you've noticed for all three of these points, right, that we moved, all right, okay, to the right 4 units, and we moved down, all right, I believe it was 9 units, right? And that was true for all the points, right? So everything was shifted to the right 4 and down 9. And that's what we call a translation, all right? So a translation, all right, is basically where we just slide our figure in the coordinate plane, all right? It doesn't change shape, it doesn't change size, it doesn't flip, all right? None of it doesn't rotate, all right? It's the same figure, but we just move it around, all right? Just like if I take my calculator here, right, and I just slide it around and move it around, right? The calculator is, all right, staying the same shape, same size, it has the same orientation, right? And that's really what a translation is. Okay, now, if we go down to the vocabulary here, all right, transformation, all right, is a mathematical process all right, that manipulates a geometrical figure. All right, and a translation is one type of transformation. So transformation covers all the different types of manipulations that we could implement on a geometric figure in the coordinate plane. All right, and so what we're going to talk about today is one type of transformation, all right, and that's called a translation. All right, so transformation is the entire, all right, group of things. Translation is one particular manipulation within that group. Okay, so a pre-image. Now, so a pre-image is the figure we begin with. The figure we begin with, all right, before applying the transformation, whatever transformation we come up with or we are implementing. All right, we're going to talk about 3 different ones in this particular unit. All right, translation, reflection, and dilation. Okay, so the figure we begin with before applying the transformation. All right, and we just have triangle ABC from above, right? All right, so when we look at our opener, right, triangle ABC. And so typically our pre-image is just going to be regular capital letters. Okay, the image is the figure we end with after applying the transformation. All right, and what we typically do with this is we put the primes on all the, from above. All right, struggling with writing today. All right, triangle A prime, B prime, C prime from above, right? So, all right, and if we did another transformation, right, we would go through and we'd have double primes. All right, so we add a prime for every, all right, iteration we do or every transformation we apply to a figure. All right, so ABC was our pre-image, A prime, B prime, C prime was the image. All right, so pre-image is what we begin with, the image is what we end with. All right, and then regular letters, and then we just add those primes, okay? All right, now, what we're going to talk about within that, if we flip the page here, is that which transformations are isometries. All right, our isometry is a transformation that preserves, all right, shape and size. All right, so a transformation that preserves shape and size, which is what the opener did, right? We just moved that triangle. All right, it didn't change shape, it didn't change size. All right, so an isometry preserves that shape and size. Okay, all right, and I'll put C opener. All right, okay, and so if the shape is not preserved, if the size is not preserved, right? So like if I have this triangle, all right, and I have this triangle, all right, that's an isometry. They're exactly the same. But if I have this triangle and now I do this, right, they're the same shape, all right, okay, but not the same size. So this is an isometry, not an isometry, okay? All right, so it's got to be both shape and size. Okay, so now, so talking about what we're focusing on in today's lesson is a translation. So a translation is a type of transformation that moves every point of a figure the same, all right, okay, the same, let me look at my notes here, distance in the same direction. All right, I got my D's mixed up there. Same distance in the same direction. All right, okay, so that's exactly what we're doing. We're just sliding our figure, all right, around in the coordinate plane. All right, so the biggest thing that most students get confused here is making sure you know what is the original figure, right, or the pre-image, and what is the, all right, the result or the image, right? And so we have to look here. So notice we have ABC right here. So this is our original figure. All right, so notice to get from triangle ABC to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, all right, all coordinates move to the left, right? Okay, so let's see, how many did I move to the left? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, all right, units to the left. And then notice it shifted up 1 unit. Okay, and notice neither triangle, we did not change shape or size. Okay, shape or size. Okay, so now the notation that goes with the translation, all right, is very direct here. Okay, so it says, okay, x, y. So if you take your coordinate and you apply this to it, you'll get the new coordinate. So this says take x and subtract 4, which means move it to the left 4. All right, this says take y, add 1, which means add 1 or move it up 1. All right, so for example, if I take A here, A is the point 4, 3. Okay, so notice if I subtract 4, all right, from 4 to get A prime, I get 0. And then if I add 1, I get 4. So, and you can see that A prime is at 0, 4. All right, so you literally can take the coordinates of your pre-image, plug them in to get your new coordinate. Okay, all right, so x minus 4, so to the left 4. All right, y plus 1, up 1. Okay, so notice now, all right, here's our new translation. All right, so now if we think about this in words, what this means is move triangle ABC. Now it's x plus 3, so plus 3. So I'm going to add 3, all right, which means I'm going to move to the right 3 units. And minus 2 this time. So I want to move it down 2, all right, and down 2 units. All right, okay, so the notation is very specific, okay? All right, so now let's write a few of these, okay? So move triangle ABC to the right 5 units and down 6, all right? So to the right, okay, so to the right, I'm going in the positive direction, so I want to add 5 onto my x coordinates, and I want to go down 6, so I want to subtract 6 from my y, so minus 6 like that, okay? All right, now let's look at the next one. I'm going to move triangle ABC left 8 units and then up 5 units and then up 5 units. So I want to take my coordinates and I want to go left 8 units. So I want to subtract 8. So going to the left is a negative in the x direction. So I want to subtract 8. And I want to go up 5. So y plus 5 like that. Okay. All right. Now notice on this one, I'm only moving to the right 10 units. There is nothing about moving up or down. All right, so that means y is not going to change. So if I want to go to the right 10, I want to do x plus 10, and then the y is going to stay the same. There's no change in y. So I'm just moving it to the right, not up or down. And in a very similar fashion on our last one here, move triangle ABC down 3 units. Notice there's no direction change for x. All right, so it's just x. There's no left, there's no right. Okay, but I just want to move it up, or excuse me, down 3 units. So I would go y minus 3, like so. All right, so now let's take this knowledge and actually do a few problems in the coordinate plane. All right, let me pause my video here. I've lost my, oh, no, there it is. Woohoo! All right, there it is right there. All right. Okay, so GBP, Green Bay Packers. All right, so we're going to do some translation with GBP here. All right, so in example 1 here. All right, so we know, all right, we have our triangle here, and this is what we want to perform. So we want to translate it by x plus 3, y minus 5. So x plus 3 to the right 3, y minus 5, down 5. So I'm going to do that to every point. All right, so I'm going to start with B here. So to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is B prime. Now I'm going to do that to G. 1, 2, 3 to the right, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's G prime. Now I do that with P. To the right 3, 1, 2, 3, down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's P prime. And then if I connect these and draw that triangle in, all right, there you go. They should look exactly the same, right? So it should be an isometry, all right? So a translation should be an isometry, so their shape and size should be preserved, all right? And that's what looks like happened right here. All right, let's do one more together. Let's do B together. So we have our same triangle here, different translation. So I'm going to do x plus 4, y plus 4. So to the right 4 and up 4 now with each coordinate. So I'm going to take B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's B prime. Do the same thing to G. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then finally with P, to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, and once again there's P prime. And then drawing in, all right, that triangle real quick here. All right, so it should preserve shape and distance. So if it doesn't, all right, if it looks kind of weird, that means you made a mistake somewhere, so go back and double check that. All right, and that wraps up our lesson on translations. All right, we'll do a little bit more practice in class. See you then.